Good afternoon. It is March 7th, 2021. This is Dan Kurz, DK Analytics, chiming in one more time on the YouTube channel. What am I referring to? My last video has been struck, censored, if you will, from the channel for inappropriate content. Now that also happened to be the video that got the most views of any. And the title of the video, and I'll show you this by flipping the camera in a second to the YouTube content screen. I asked, well, the title was Checkmate, and I asked, is the financial, economic, policy, and political situation irredeemable amidst bubble valuations in bonds and stocks? Apparently, the YouTube thought police didn't like the title or didn't like what I went into. They mentioned inappropriate content for the censorship that they imposed. In other words, they took the video down or they made it unavailable for you. Now, as all of you or those of you that have followed me know, I am a proponent of free market capitalism, freedom, personal responsibility, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, starting with the First Amendment, most importantly, freedom of speech, association, and religion. And it's exactly that freedom. When a non-statist, non-globalist, non-leftist, or tyrannical view is espoused, that the overlords at YouTube deem it inappropriate for viewing. And that does not rest well with me from any perspective. As a result, any future videos that I do end up putting together will be on a different platform by the name of Rumble, a gifted previous site manager kindly did the necessary. And I just wanted to give you a heads up here that in the future, any video efforts by yours truly will be found there. I'm not going to waste another second creating any videos and uploading them to what I believe is a fascist, anti-American, anti-nation state company that is beholden to globalist interests and not to upholding freedom of speech, which they have in their platform absolutely molested for any points of view that don't go along the lines they want this whole thing to proceed. They also, as you know, nixed any videos that talked about the massive and well-documented voter fraud that took place in the 2020 election, as many people came forward to attest to under the perjure and with risk of perjuring themselves if it was incorrect, affidavits. They also dissed or took down any videos or content, at least based upon what I've seen, that talked about the not-so-Supreme Court of the United States not standing tall for Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2 of the Constitution, namely that only state legislatures shall determine the electors, which clearly did not happen. And in essence, they are not for the very platforms of freedom and non-governmental interference that have allowed them to become so huge and so rich. So they're trying to turn the tables and install one or another, or help install one or another form of tyranny, morphing into totalitarianism. You'll notice, or some of you will, that the videos that they do still allow by third world dictators suggesting violence against the United States or Christians or the civil society in a bigger sense. Those remain up there, but not those espousing traditional Judeo-Christian views and supporting the Constitution and daring to question uh, this illegitimate election outcome that we had in November. Let me flip this camera here briefly as eloquently as I can, and that might leave something to be desired. As you know, I'm not tremendously good with this aspect of technology, but here we go. Let me switch you over, and here it is. This is the video that I'm referring to. Hopefully you can see this. Checkmate: is the financial, economic, policy, and political situation irredeemable? Even as bubble valuations in stocks and bonds, you can't see that part, but here's the removed. And this video was removed from YouTube. Only you can see this video. Well, now you can see it too until they take this video down. And the violation, terms and policies. This video has been removed. Inappropriate content. Does that sound Orwellian or what? Well, I'm not going to bother to appeal because I know where that's going to go, right into the toilet. So my message here to you and those of you listening is simply I will terminate any and all YouTube video efforts. I hope to be back in perhaps a less frequent form. I already was very frequent before with my micro channel efforts, but to make some big picture call outs, tie them into obviously allocations, and perhaps you might want to check me out as I put together something over time on the Rumble platform. Thanks for listening. This is my last YouTube video. I wish you a great Sunday and a great rest of the month and year. We're going to need all the help we can get to try to stop this progression into the absolute antithesis of codified freedom and personal responsibility. Over and out. This is Dan.